Did you shoot that? Was that you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. Subtle flex. Subtle flex. This guy. Did you see the video?
CrossFit's awesome.
Look at us go, eh? A little collab by the boys. How are you, buddy? Doing well?
I'm good. How are you?
So good. So good.
Long time coming, man. Long time coming.
I know. The people are not going to know what has hit them, you know?
No, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, bro. What is up, you sexy beasts? We are here with Mr. Nate, and he is a guest today, but more so he's a co-host today. That's the way I'd like to think about it. So yeah, man, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it.
Pleasure, bro. Pleasure. Canadians, Australians, we're basically the same, uniting against all these Americans. You know, you and me. It's meant to be.
That's it, man. Absolutely. Hey, before we start, congratulations.
50% of our audiences are both American, and we just said that. Not a good idea.
Totally. I actually haven't looked at my my audience breakdown for a while. I'm not sure where majority of them are, but I imagine the States.
Dude, I can tell you your exact demo. You ready? I can tell you your exact demo. You tell me if
Let me
I'm
have a guess. Let me have a guess real quick. I'm guessing male, 35 to 45, and maybe 40 or 50% US.
Pretty close. Yeah. Is that yours?
Oh, that's what I'm guessing for mine. I'm not sure.
I would say, so I'm going to tell you what mine is, and why I think it's yours is because I've compared it with so many CrossFit athletes of like male, female, young, old. I think there's a CrossFit demo that just like it is what it is. 75 or like mine is like 60-40 male woman, but 75-25 is like pretty average. Mine's 53% American, 11% Canadian, and 9% Australian. And then the next biggest is the UK.
Wow. Love it.
Yours might be skewed a bit more UK or a bit more Australian, obviously, because you're from Australia. But
yeah, exactly. That's quite a big female audience. I'm pretty sure mine's not that big, not 40%. Probably because I'm a bit older.
It's this luscious hair, man.
That's it, man.
It's this luscious hair. Gets the ladies.
That's it. Hey, I got a bunch of complaints last week for wearing my blue light blockers and just having the reflection of that light. So I hope everyone watching, you're appreciating the no blue light blockers. Sacrificing a bit of
he's just not going to
coolness.
sleep tonight, poor guy.
Yeah. That's it. I literally just wear them because they look legit. I don't know if they help me at all, but they look cool, and I'm sacrificing that today. Yeah.
I'll wear sunglasses the whole episode just to upset those same people.
There you go.
I'll pull the Casey Neistat. Reflective too. They're super reflective.
Yeah.
No, I won't do that.
Hey, well done on the 20,000 sub mark, man. That's amazing. It's a bit of a milestone.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, it's funny. Did you see the where I explained why it's a milestone?
Yeah, I've been watching the last few videos, kind of talking about where you've come from and the goal. You know, the kind of the dream of it all, and now realizing that. Yeah, it's so inspirational, man. It's awesome.
Appreciate it. Yeah, it's weird, man. It's like 20,000 is like such a random number to like care about, but it was literally the moment where it was like it's like vivid. Like yesterday, I was sitting there on my phone watching Rory's channel that like I helped him build tick over 20, and like that was right as I was like, oh, I think I want to do this, but like I'm sure you can relate, man. Like because you were the same story as me. Like we were nobodies when we started making content in CrossFit. Like we didn't have like notoriety at all. Like you probably started with 0 subscribers just like I did. Like it wasn't like an overnight thing. It was like a grind, and like the thought of starting that when seeing like being so close to someone else who's already succeeded, I was like, I just want to be there. Like I can't get there. I need to just jump there. I need something to get me there. So then like actually getting there just by happening is crazy. It's like, I don't know. It was like unbelievable. I was like, I can't believe this happened. That's wild.
It's awesome, man. So good.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely, when I started kind of 10K, I was like, can I get to 10K? Like that's what was my initial goal. It's like, can I make 10K?
Mm-hmm.
And then once I had that, I was like, okay, the next milestone is 25. It's good to have, it's good to have those numbers, you know, just to, it's good to have little goals like that, I guess.
Yeah.
But enjoying the journey, that's for sure.
Yeah, we could talk, you and me, about being content creators all day, but maybe we can do that
another time
when we're not boring a bunch of people. I don't know how many people care about us just talking about ourselves right now.
They care, man. They care. They love us.
They do, but I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're right. This show is called the About Last Week Show, and just last night, Taurean Pro dropped the very first workout. I'm not sure if any of the other semi-finals have actually dropped any any events yet, but Taurean dropped the first one last night, and I thought we can have a chat through that one. Give our thoughts on what we think people are gonna do. Have you seen it?
I'm looking at it right now. You're gonna have to help me because I suck at math, and this is all in kilos, so I'm just like, I don't know what I'm looking at right now, but it looks heavy. Like 70 kilos. What's that? Like 155 pounds?
I'm literally the opposite to you. Like, I'm useless with pounds. So, like, that'll be like 70 kgs.
This is a good combo then. 70
kgs would be like a red on each side. So 20 kg bar with 2 reds on each side.
Yeah. It's, that's 155. Yeah. Oh, we can just do colors, you and me. It's like kindergartners.
That's it, man.
Like kindergartners, we're talking colors.
Yeah. So I mean, it's.
I like this.
Yeah, it's heavy, but I think all these athletes can go unbroken on the 15 overhead squats at 70 for the first set anyway. Actually, first of all, do you see the video? The video is pretty nice, isn't it? The video of the workout announcement.
I did. I didn't. I can't watch it right now because there'd be sound playing in the background. But yeah, it did look really fancy. Did you shoot that? Was that you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. Subtle flex. This guy. Did you see the video?
So good.
That was funny.
Yeah.
You got me. Yeah, good video, man. You're a videographer, dude.
I know.
Different. You got camera skills.
Yeah.
I got like a $500 crappy Canon with like an old scratched up lens, and you're like Mr. Hollywood over here.
You've got the stories, bro. You got the stories, the storylines.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Yeah. So looking at this workout, what do you think? Like, is it going to be what's going to be the sticking point, or what's going to be the main chunk of this workout that's going to make or break the athletes? Do you think?
I think, I don't know. The middle stands out to me. I think a lot of people will get caught up with the barbell weight. Personally, I don't think this barbell, any of the barbells, is like 93 kilos is probably 225. I don't know for a fact, but I'm guessing. Is that two blues? A blue on each, two blues on each side?
Pretty much, yeah.
93.
Yep.
Yeah, so yeah, like 225, like that's not going to be anything, 15 power cleans. Like, honestly, I think there'll be some dudes or ladies that will go out and try to do the barbell stuff unbroken. Like, maybe not for strategy, but the weight you could definitely do unbroken. Like, that's not an issue for these athletes. I think what it'll probably be is like who can do the biggest sets, if not unbroken, on the muscle ups, and then like keep a solid pace on the run. Like the run, it reminds me of that deadlift GHD workout from regionals back in the day, where it was like that 405 deadlift, the GHDs, and the run, and like people overlook the run, but like the run was so important because like you could definitely gas yourself out at the beginning and then settle into a comfy pace on the run. But because it's only 1,500 meters, I think people are going to have to like push. And yeah, I think 23 minutes is an aggressive time cap, or not an aggressive time cap. Like, I think a lot of people will come underneath that.
Yeah, for sure. It's worth noting the thruster bar, although they didn't specify it in the description, you can see in the video, the thruster bar is actually like a, what do you call it? A fat bar, like a...
Oh,
yeah,
interesting.
Like it's a short, thick bar.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Not that I don't think it's going to make much difference, other than just being something a bit different. Yeah, I think you're right. So I think on the power cleans though, they're probably. I imagine everyone will go singles, like especially with 15 muscle ups coming up. You'd want to just pump out singles rather than hold on. Yeah.
Not worth it for the grip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was looking at the running events at the games last year, and someone who did really well was Baden Brown. I think came second in the, the running toaster bar event at the games last year. Whereas athletes like Jay Crouch, Royce Dunn didn't do too well. Same with like Ali Turner, not great runners. So there could be a few athletes, some of the top athletes that get, might get a bit not stuck, but I think the run's going to be a challenge for some of them. Yeah, they're not great. We don't have some of the stronger athletes are not the greatest runners in our region. Yeah.
Dude, can we just like talk for a second about the women in your region and how it's just like the most unfair region ever for women? Like that blew my mind when I saw that. And like I don't know, I don't usually like give my opinion like on Instagram or anything about that kind of stuff, but like I saw that and I was like, this is bull. Like those are all like, they're not just all games athletes, they're all like been in the top 10 before games athletes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like Ellie Turner, I don't think she has, but she should be. Like she will be this year.
She will be.
You know, like they're all like elite athletes. Cara Saunders, Tia Claire Toomey, like what?
Yeah.
Jamie Green, Madeline Stewart. Like it's crazy, man.
That's insane.
That's a crazy region to only have 3 people.
Yeah, I really hope that this will be the last year where we only get 3 spots. Like I hope they change the criteria for for how they allocate these spots, because it's not right. It's not right.
No.
Yeah.
No, that's insane. Especially when you look at like a region, like, no offense, but like Atlas Games. Like, I know we were going to talk about that. Like, I don't mean to jump ahead of you here, but like the women's roster there, like, no shame, but like if you compare that to the Australia region and Atlas Games is getting 5 spots, you're like, are you kidding me? Like, it's night and day difference in terms of like the girls who have been to the games. I think it's 2 games athletes at Atlas Games versus like 5 superstars fighting for 3 spots at Taurean.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting, man. And so, I mean, same is true on the men's side as well, with Ricky Garrard back. You know, and you've got the likes of James Newbury still in the mix. You know, I don't know, he's definitely not one of the favourites, but you know, you've got some pretty. I think Matt McLeod is another games athlete that's back. So again, on the men's side, there's about 6 or 7 games athletes that have done really well in the past. So there's a possibility we don't see a Royce Dunn or Ricky Garrard or Jay Crouch at the games this year. You know, which sucks, but nevertheless, it's going to be a spectacle. It's going to be awesome.
Lucky you, man. Lucky you.
Oh, dude, are you going to any of the semis?
You got to be there. The plan is to right now. Yeah, we also have a wedding to pay for, so we're like very like tight on money to say the least. Yeah. So if we can find a sponsor and make it work, then great. But I mean, I think we will, because luckily we can drive. It's like a 10-12 hour drive from us to get to Montreal. Yeah. So I think we'll do our best to, but yeah, there might be some hurdles. Yeah.
Let's have a chat about the Atlas Games, because I don't know the Canadian, especially the women's. I don't know the Canadian ladies very well, and I know on the Atlas Games list there's a bunch of unknown athletes and a few that are kind of up and comers that you might be able to shed some more light on. So the only names that I recognise on the ladies' side is Emma Lawson, Alison Scudds, and Freya. Really, I know Paige Powers, but yeah, the rest of them I don't really know. So
yep.
Who do you think? Who are your picks for the ladies on the Atlas Games side?
So Prevo will still make it for sure. She's been to the games like 5-6 times, like a bunch of times. She's a veteran, but she's definitely like lower of the pack. Like I don't think she's really a perennial like top 10 athlete by any means. But she'll definitely take a spot for sure. Emma Lawson, dude. Like, I mean, I did the day in the life with her back in October, November, and like, she's an animal, man. She's an animal. And, like, obviously she proved it this year in, like, quarterfinals and the Open. But we saw it at Dubai. Like, she can compete with the best of them. Like, she's 16, 17 years old now. Like, it's insane. She is insanely fit. So I think she absolutely has a spot locked up. So that's 2. Freya is really impressive, too. Like, it's kind of hard to say for certain, I guess, because like I've only seen her compete in isolation at quarterfinals. So I've never seen her compete on like a stage. But from what I saw, and honestly, just the fact that like Michelle is betting on her, like Michelle doesn't pick stud athletes. Basically, like all of her athletes are superstars and like always have been. Like she picked Ellie like way before Ellie was Ellie, and like look at her now. And like I think Freya's kind of the same boat. Like I think Freya will make it this year for sure. The other name that stands out, well, doesn't stand out, but I recognize is Tori Dyson. She's out of New England. She was like a training partner with Catherine for a little while. So that'd be interesting. Paige Power, she's the one that was with Mayhem, right? She's been training down at Mayhem for a little while. Yep. So, I mean, her as well, that's another name. Alison Scudds is obviously a homie of mine. She's awesome. She's in the mix with the underdog crew. So I think there's a lot of opportunity there. And Carolyn Connors is another. I don't know her very well, but the name definitely stands out. I think she's been to the games. I think she's the other one other than Prevost on that list that has been as an individual. I could be wrong, but yeah, I mean, there's good names. It's just there's not a lot of perennial games athletes.
Yeah, sure. And you got
that's the big thing. Carolyn,
you got 5 spots. Is that right? 5 spots for Atlas Games. Yeah.
All the North American ones.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm really excited to see what Emma Lawson does this year. Yeah, man.
She's a stud, man.
Yeah.
She's awesome. Yeah, and the men's side, I mean, the men's side is very interesting too. Like, I think a lot of people talk more highly about the competition on the men's side because there are quite a lot of like top talent guys there. Like, I think a lot of guys that like maybe fly a little bit under the radar, like Alexander Caron and Cedric Lapointe and like Jean-Simon Roy Lemieux, like those are all guys that like you've seen on like the Open leaderboard and stuff. Yeah, play a lot, but not so much breaking through at the games. But I mean, I think they all have definitely potential to qualify. Obviously, Adler and Patrick Vellner are shoe-ins. And then Jack Farlow, man, I'm kind of excited to see that. Speaking of Emma Lawson, like He's an upcoming dude. He's a teen. He lifts like 7,000 pounds. Like his quads are like the size of like my shoulders. Like it's insane. Like both shoulders put together and my chest. Like he's jacked. And he's like 19 years old. Like it makes no sense. So I'm excited to see him go. And then Austin Spencer too. He's another OG. Like the list is, I mean, these are just the notable names too. But like, yeah, the list is pretty solid, man. Especially for like me to be able to point out. Like obviously I'm no like statistician here, but those names like, there's definitely quite a few that stand out to me there.
Yeah, nice. Yes. Do you think Paddy V, do you reckon this is his last year competing this year?
I don't know, man. I kind of see him going, like, I think everyone expects me to, like, know a lot about him because, like, we're so close and, like, I hang out with him all the time. But, like, I think he plays those cards pretty tight to the chest if he's even, like, considering it. Like, you know, I definitely have never asked, and he's definitely never volunteered if he has, like, a hard line on anything. And to my knowledge, I don't think he does. Like, I think he'll compete as long as he can still compete. Like, I think if I'm remembering correctly, most of the conversations we've had along those lines are just kind of like, you know, as long as I still enjoy it, I can still do it, and I'm still a competitor. Like, I think he'll be there. This might be, I don't know, I don't want to say bold to say, but like, I've never had this conversation with him, but I almost guarantee he won't compete past his individual prime. Like, I don't think we see him as a 35 to 39-year-old master. Like, he has a career built for himself. He's a chiro. He loves that. Like, you know, Michelle's got a great career. Like, his wife, Michelle, not Coach Michelle. So I kind of see him riding off into the sunset when he's done for sure, being from the individual and not like holding on too long. But I mean, short term, man, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we get at least 2 more seasons out of him, maybe even 3.
Yeah, nice.
No.
Yes, the people's favorite, Mr. Vellner. Love the guy.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
he is a lovely guy. Have you met him or like interacted with him much?
I had the funniest story, man. I was in Hawaii in 2019, kind of when I got my break for the first time as a photographer and videographer.
Yeah.
I arrived in Hawaii. I went with Cara and Matt Saunders, but I arrived the day before them. And so I had a day by myself, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to walk from the hotel to CrossFit Poipu, where everyone kind of meets and trains. And so I was walking along, and I obviously looked like a CrossFitter. And this car pulls up.
A very tall CrossFitter, but a CrossFitter.
Yeah. This car pulls up, and it was Michelle and Pat, and they're like, "Hey, do you want to ride to the gym?" I was like, "Absolutely!" And I couldn't believe it. Jumped the back of the car, just as I'm just an absolute CrossFit fanatic, and here I am in the car with Pat Vellner getting driven to the gym. So I met them in Hawaii in 2019, and spent a fair bit of time there with them. So that was nice. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's funny, man. I don't know. I don't really feel like I know your story. I don't know if you want to like get into that, but could you give me like 2 minutes? Like, how did you get to where you are now? Like, was it through photography and stuff? Like, I remember this is a funny story that I'm sure people would appreciate. When I did Noah's Day in the Life back in 2019, that was kind of when I started my channel. He just couldn't stop talking about you. Like, he showed me your Instagram in the car, and he's like, this guy, like, Wykie, like, he's so cool, like, he does such cool edits, da-da-da. Yeah. And, like, he showed it to me, and I was like, oh, cool. And then, like, I kind of thought I saw maybe you posting a YouTube video here or there. And then, to me, you were the guy that always did the lightning, like, drawings.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like, colored lightning drawings. But was it that Hawaii trip? Was that Hawaii trip? That was a big break for you?
Yeah, so Romwad's heavily involved with the Keala Foundation over in Hawaii, and so when I was there with Cara, I met the whole Romwad team. So that's where I met Noah, and the whole Romwad team. So I think your day in the life must have been just after that Hawaii trip, because that's where I met. That's where I met Noah. Oh, that's so cool, my boy. Give me the love. That's really cool.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah, man. So yeah, I mean that trip just catapulted me into the stratosphere of CrossFit content, really. I was just a CrossFit gym owner, a CrossFit affiliate owner, making content for my box, and after that trip, I was like, you know what, I've got to go all in on this, and literally close my gym down to pursue this. So, yeah, man, yeah, and I guess the guys from Taurean saw a bunch of my work, so that year they allowed me to come and just shoot for myself. Taurean gave me a pass on the floor, and then I've shot their event for the last couple of years. So. Yeah, it's been pretty short, like cool. 2019 to now. You know, it's 3 years. It feels like forever, but it's been a pretty quick, fast journey. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny, man. I reflect back sometimes. I'm like, I wonder if it was like right time, right place for us, like in terms of 2019 being so open, like getting in like right after the implosion of like CrossFit Media and all that, and having those opportunities like in that year. But yeah, it just kind of feels like it's like if you can put yourself in those situations, because CrossFit is such like a small, tight knit community, it's not hard to gain traction. You know what I mean? Like, it's not hard to get like it. I don't know. I think it's probably a personality thing or whatever. But like, yeah, hearing your story, like knowing my story, like it feels like it's just kind of like this snowball effect if you can kind of just get yourself in the right rooms. Which, because of how tight the community is, like it's not that hard to do. You know?
Yeah, I agree. And it's a whole lot less about the actual content you're creating, and it's way more about the relationships you're building, right? Like, people ask all the time, like, how, how do I get to become a photographer or videographer in the CrossFit space? And the answer's simple. Like, you got to put yourself in the rooms, in the conversations where they're influential people, and build friendships, for sure.
Yeah,
it's cool, man. One thing that's been going around the CrossFit space over the last month or two has just been the standards and the judging. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, and I saw this video yesterday of Brent Fikowski. I sent it through to you, doing some muscle ups.
Yeah, I was curious to hear what you thought. Like, you sent it to me, and you're like, let's talk about this. And I was like, what do you want to talk about?
Yeah, well, what I want to talk about is that I feel like a lot of what's been pointed out, there was a particular video about Danny Spiegel doing ring muscle ups, and, the lack of lockout, or, how athletes will push away from the rings or push away from the bar and kind of get elbow extension as they're falling back. So they're never really getting full extension over top of the rings, over top of the bar. That's one of the common things that I've seen pointed out as of late. And so when I saw this video, I just noticed how different Brent's muscle ups look, and that it seems like he's very intentional about sitting over the bar a whole lot further, so that when he does the push back, he actually ends up being over top of the bar when it's in full extension rather than behind the bar. If that makes sense. I'll put the video on the screen anyway, so people can see what I'm talking about. I think maybe ignore the first muscle up. I feel like maybe his elbows are a bit soft, but after that first muscle up, you'll notice all the remaining ones, like he really puts his chest way over the bar, and then as he drives back and extends, he ends up being on top of the bar rather than behind it. If that makes sense. It's just something I noticed. I don't know if he's.
I mean, I got a hot take for you here.
Come on.
My thought about like range of motion stuff a lot of the time is the people who need to do it cut it short, and the people who don't need to do it don't risk it. So what I mean by that is, like, if you watch Vellner, Fikowski, Matt Fraser, 3 of the fittest male athletes of all time, Froning, another example, fittest male athletes of all time, perennial podium athletes, they have the cleanest, 4 of the cleanest moving athletes you could possibly name on the male side are those 4 athletes. You know what I mean? Like, in terms of not getting no reps, in terms of the cleanest lockouts of their thrusters, head through, arm straight, pausing at the top. Rich and Matt were both known for taking that breath at the top, right? Pat Vellner's pistols in the quarterfinals, like the most ass-to-grass pistols you've ever seen in your life. Full hip extension. I think he was like one of the only athletes to not get a no rep on the pistols and to not get a score knocked for the pistols. Like, these athletes who are so good, they don't need those extra half seconds, I think, realize the risk that is taken by athletes who try to rush movements to get those extra half seconds or who are sloppy, because a no rep is obviously way more costly than taking that extra half second to fully lock out the rep. So I think that's why you see it, man. I think all of those guys, Fikowski, like, to bring it back to him, like, he's so seasoned and he's been in the sport for so long that, like, he just knows, like, those guys know what they're doing. Like, if they wanted to try to cut rep short, they would, and they could. Like, they have body awareness. They know what they're doing. But in that same version, like, especially Fikowski, man, the professor, like, there's no chance he hasn't, like, stopwatched out, like, 5 bar muscle ups, trying to cut the rep short, pushing back, versus just 5 clean lockouts. And he's been like, okay, this is, like, on average, like, half a second slower per rep, but a no rep would cost me this amount of seconds, and this amount of seconds, say it's, 5 seconds, is greater than the 2.5 seconds cleaner reps are going to cost me. So I'm just going to do cleaner reps. And then you avoid the judge discrepancy or anything, especially online stuff. Like, so I think these guys are just seasoned athletes, man. They know the value of moving clean. They have the ability to do it and still be good enough that it's just not worth it for them, you know?
I love that. I love that. I think you're spot on. Yeah. Man, that's funny thinking about Fikowski just running through like 5 reps and all the scenarios and and timing himself. And you just know that he's doing those things, you know?
Oh, yeah.
What a guy. I love it. Yeah, I just looked at that and I was like, man, that looks very intentional. Like, it looks like something he's practiced and gone with intentionally. Like, just thought that was interesting.
Listen, man, like all the people like listening at home for like, as if you're an aspiring athlete, like, it just move well. Like, it's always the better option. You know what I mean? Like, move as well as you possibly can. Like, work on the fundamentals. Like, I remember way back in the day, I was talking about this, and well, not about this specifically, but I was talking about like early days of Froning in a video recently, and like I specifically remember him talking about fixing his squat after I think it was like the 2010 games, where he like just went no bar for like a month or 2 months and just air squatted slow and controlled, perfect reps to like get his squat nailed in. So like it was a health thing in terms of his knees, but also so he didn't risk any no reps. Like, if you're an upcoming athlete, like, don't try to get a couple spots more up the leaderboard before you deserve them by moving crappy. Like, move well. It will always pay dividends. You'll get injured less. You'll get less no reps. Less people will make fun of you on the internet. Like, it's just all better. You know what I mean? Just move well. Like, it's just the way to go, you know? If you really care about competing. If you don't care about competing, then whatever, be a half repper. That's your call. But like, if you really care about being good at the sport, like, move well.
Yeah. It's good, man. Mic drop. I like it. Yeah. I want to keep chatting to you, but I kind of made the decision that these about last week wrap-ups will be like 20 to 30 minutes, and we're hitting 34 minutes.
Yep.
So we might say goodbye to the viewers, and then we can keep chatting after.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And the viewers can let us know. I'm sure you're about to get to that, but the viewers can let us know. Did you guys like this? Do you like me and this handsome, bald Australian man shotting it up? If you do, comment down below. Drop a like on this video. Hit subscribe on his channel, and that'll let us know that maybe you want more of this. Maybe he'll let me into his world a little bit, and maybe we'll shoot the shit on a weekly basis and talk about CrossFit.
Maybe. Just maybe. Maybe if we get 50 plus comments, maybe we'll do that. Put that out there.
50 comments. All right.
Actually, one more thing.
We got to get a good title thumbnile for that though, buddy. We got some.
Don't you worry about that, mate. Yeah. All right. One more question before you go. Actually, I saw that you just put out. I haven't watched it yet, but I will. A day in the life with, or a full training day with Annika Greer.
Yep.
I just wanted to ask how she's doing, because I know obviously she's had the tough, a tough run with, not making it through due to that video submission. How's she doing, just emotionally and just a quick little sum up, if that's cool.
She seems good, man. Like, it's tough. I think dealing with that in general would be tough. Dealing with as an 18-year-old who's just starting out in the sport and like just trying to figure out life is probably like, I can't even imagine how tough it is. So I mean, she was in good spirits when we trained. She's a super fun person to be around. Like, I think she has a good attitude. And I said this to her, I think on camera, but definitely off camera, of just like, this is the fact that you're dealing with this kind of stuff so early in your life and your career as an athlete. You're going to be much more hardened than a lot of other athletes later. So when you face adversity later on, it's going to be much easier for you to move through it. And hopefully that adversity is going to be while you're competing at the CrossFit Games and not in the way it is now. But regardless, it's experience in dealing with adversity. And I think that's super valuable as an athlete. And I think she does understand that. And yeah, I think she's going to learn from it, man. I think she has a good head on her shoulders. I think she's, taken this season for what it is. She's going to get better. She's going to compete on other stages and then come back next year stronger. So,
love it. Yeah, she's going to be a weapon. Yeah. Looking forward to seeing her. Cool, man. Thanks so much. And you lot at home, stay sexy, keep roaring love, and maybe me and Nate will see you again next week. You never know. Mwah.
CrossFit's awesome.